Hello, welcome back to Ones of the Force, the Star Wars podcast. I'm Phil, of course, and I'm joined as usual by my co-hosts Dave and George. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Phil. The stranger returns to our midst.
But not with a visual.
Sadly not. I'm having a technical issue this evening, so there's no video from me tonight. I doesn't matter for you on iTunes and SoundCloud and all the listeners out there, but for those of you in video, you don't have to look at my ugly mug this evening, so a little bright spot in your day. However, yes, I am back. Unfortunately, work commitments kept me away for our last show 2 weeks ago, and I missed the Battlefront 2 gameplay review as well. So, yeah, I've missed a couple of things of the month, but I am back. Should be good fun. And looks like we've got an action-packed show this evening as well. A lot of news and a lot of things to get through.
Yeah, and if we go at first, for those that remember our last one, it was a dead news week until the morning of the Wednesday, where, of course, they announced that Phil Lord and Chris Miller are no longer working on the Star Wars film, and we had a breakdown of the day's events. However, the following day, they hired Ron Howard, and obviously we missed it by a single day. So this is old news to a lot of people, but this is a good point to lead in, as Phil missed it. Phil, give us your thoughts on both Ron Howard and the directors leaving.
Yeah, it's a very interesting it's an interesting conversation. Phil Lord and Chris Miller it was a brave choice to start with from Lucasfilm, but I like the choice. I was with you guys at Celebration last year, which has been nearly a full year now. Can you believe that?
Next week,
exactly. Yes, a full year. That's we'll have a different show on that. But yes, so they came out. We had the Future Filmmakers panel. We all enjoyed that, and they created a big buzz around the film. They seemed very enthusiastic about it, and from what we've seen over the past year or so from pre-production and production, we've only seen good things. Now, of course, companies are always going to put a good spin on things anyway, but I was not expecting that particular news. I wasn't expecting them to be so unceremoniously dumped, as it were. However, I'm not entirely surprised considering the events of last year with Rogue One and its reshoots and everything else. However, what surprised me was the late date. Now, a lot of people have been going, well, how can you get 4 months into production and not know that it's not going to plan? Well, the difference between seeing things in dailies and seeing things when you see a rough cut or you see a large portion of the film to come together. I know the whole Lawrence Kasdan not sticking to the script thing. Yes, some of the most famous lines from his films have been ad-libbed. Of course, he's going to be okay with that if it works out for the best. But if you see a daily here, a daily there, and if production, heads of production like Kathleen Kennedy see bits and pieces, then it's fine. But as soon as the whole pitch comes together, if you then see little cracks here and there then become one giant fault line, then you've got an issue. I think that's more likely what's happened. I mean, yes, creative differences is a cliche, but in this particular instance, it does seem genuine. Whether it could have been avoided earlier or not is up for discussion. But it does seem for once this is a genuine clash of views. It did happen with Rogue One. I do agree with your point you made 2 weeks ago. I do not think that Phil Lord and Chris Miller will have director's credits. I don't believe they'll be on the PR campaign trail, purely because instead of there being only a few weeks of production left, they've now got a whole 10 weeks of production to go. So they've actually basically restarted the whole project. And also because they restarted production so quickly, I believe this was in the making for quite a while. They had to get the timing and everything right. But yeah, that's my points on it, on the firing and the hiring. I believe that Ron Howard will do a good job. He's a safe bet in terms of he's a very accomplished director with such great films as Apollo 13 and Rush. Yes, he's had his misses, but then again, no one's perfect. I mean, look at Jar Jar Binks, for example. George Lucas gave us so much, and he helped with the world with Pixar, and he helped with Apple, and he helped with creating this thing that we all know and love. But yeah, even he makes blunders. So everyone can make mistakes, and I believe that Ron Howard's upfront is much better than his downside. So I think the pros versus cons in this situation. He's an accomplished director. He's well known, well respected. and will work well with Kathleen Kennedy and Lawrence Kasdan to get the film they want. Going forward, I'm nervous. I don't think they'll make the May release date. I think that's a bit ambitious. I would like them to push it back. I would like them to push it back to Christmas, I must admit. However, if anyone can do it, Lucasfilm can, just because they do have a very talented crew. They have a very talented post-production crew, if anything else. So, with people like ILM and Skywalker Sound, the background universe is already there. People like Dave Filoni and Pablo Hidalgo are there to help as well. I think it's going to be... I think it'll be rescued, and I think it'll be fine. I don't think there's too much reason to panic. It just doesn't show or market well for Lucasfilm and Star Wars. That's just my opinion on the whole thing.
I mean, what I've found, I think, more is we've got this story leaking. You've got more and more information that it seems people weren't happy around Lord Miller. That seems to have come out a little bit more. Just little tidbits here and there throughout the nose. I mean, there's even stuff about the lead actor having to have some classes because they weren't happy with his performance. So I think it was something that was in trouble, and from the more information we're getting. Ron Howard, for me, is a very natural choice to slip into the role. As I say, a friend of Lucasfilm. He's a fan of what he's going to be doing. So I think he's excited by that. I think if any director goes into something excited by a project, always is going to help yield better results. So the Lord Miller thing seems to have more behind it than I think we know, and we may never know. But I think even just a week, 2 weeks since George and I talked about it, the little things that are coming out about it, there's definitely more to the story to come, I think. I think they're done now. That's project. They're off it. We're not going to see them. They're not probably, if they've taken this as far back as I think we think they have. I don't even think I think they might get a very small credit in terms of the film, but I don't think you'll see anything in the first lot of credits on that screen. George?
Well, with Ron Howard, I love Rush. It's one of my favorite films. Very, very safe choice. I mean, he was rumored from the get-go. He's clearly probably been in talks before they got sacked, this, that, the other. And obviously, knowing George Lucas, his career, Lucasfilm, producing his first, I think, directed film. And he was asked to do The Phantom Menace. George Lucas has said that before. So I think he's got the right attitude. He's got the right mindset. He's very calm, collected. This is exactly what they need. As much as I like the film and Chris Hall's work, and I've heard from people that they're quite bonkers on set, that they're two young guys with clearly a lot of talent, very comedic, and maybe with everything that's happened, you need that calm, level-headed, very experienced director who knows the Hollywood system.
I do hope it doesn't ruin their career, though. In terms of, I do hope
it won't ruin their career at all.
They'll pick up another comedy very shortly. I think. What the thing about them is they were the directors of the Warner Brothers Flash movie. They left the Flash movie to come on to do Han Solo. If Warner Brothers have anything about them and the way their DCEU is going, they should be rushing out to sign those guys back to the Flash. As it's lost its director a number of times. So you would think that would be one thing. They'd be massive. I think they'll get welcomed back into that fold, and I can very much see them being back on the Flash movie, because I think that's the kind of, they want an upbeat kind of comedic character where he's come across in the, I know we're doing outside of Star Wars, but certainly in the trailers that we've seen for Justice League, that's the way they want that Flash character. So I think they'll fall right back on their feet, and I think they'll go straight back into that world of making funny movies again. I just don't think timelines were right for this one for them, and maybe, who knows, they'll be welcomed back one day at the Star Wars fold once Kathleen Kennedy maybe leaves and Kasdan. But yeah, for now, I think they'll be fine. I don't think anything will happen career-wise with them. I don't think they'll be damaged. The
other thing, I'm completely off the point, but I'll get off them. But Warner Bros. Have got a very good history of their directors, especially on the DC films. They're quite lenient. As long as you get the end goal right, they're fine with you directing how you want. I think they'll take that. If not, they've got the 23 Jump Street / Men in Black crossover, which I will say was the only part I was gutted about when they said they were going on Star Wars, because everyone's waiting for that film because it's in production. But they'll be fine. But Ron Howard, this stage, the right choice to do. Filming recommences on July the 10th, which is this Monday. So it will be very intriguing to see what happens. Maybe at D23.
It's already begun though. I don't know if you've seen his Twitter.
Well, he was on set, but I don't think filming's back. So he might just be picking up dailies, meeting actors and crew on set. But I don't think they haven't been filming, officially filming. But I I think at D23 in a couple of weeks, they will probably still give the name of the film away, and they're going to have to address everything because they can't not address it. So if they're clever, they'll do something and just bring the cast out or release some images of them.
They're going to have to. Otherwise it's going to be the massive elephant in the room if they come out and don't mention anything at all about what's going on. And just go, this is the Han Solo movie, and this is what it's called, and this is our director, Ron Howard. Nothing else. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think, obviously, he's over in London. He got over, I mean, as soon as he announced, he was on the set. I see a picture of his feet and some bottles of water. They were great pictures. But I think he's probably gone straight into his own version of pre-production on the stuff they've already got to see from that what is then feasible with the script he's got as to what he can then use. And now what he's probably been planning for the last 2 weeks, exactly how much he's now got to go out and shoot and bring to that movie to make it what it should be.
Exactly. And is that everything on Han Solo?
I believe it is.
Right. Moving on. Vaguely tied in. The next bit of news. There's not too. It's a lightweight, but there's some stuff. They've confirmed that there'll be no Last Jedi footage or anything at Comic-Con. However, it will be at D23. It's common sense. D23, for those that don't know, is the Disney convention taking place a week before San Diego Comic-Con. So if you're Mr. Disney and you think, well, obviously he's not around, but if you sit there thinking, you know what would be great if I market the biggest film of our studio at the other event a week after our own. Anyone that's genuinely moaning, because I've seen people moan online saying, why isn't it Comic-Con? You clearly don't know Star Wars well enough to be going to Comic-Con over D23. That's what I've got to say.
Look, there's only one important thing at Comic-Con, and we all know it's the Thrawn box set of the Black Series, and that's all that's important about Comic-Con.
Yeah, true. No, that's
and the Funkos, the pops, and the pops as well.
And now George's new obsession with his Funkos.
Yes,
which you can't see behind him at all. No, not.
There's four there. However, hopefully in 2 weeks' time, that will have risen to about 15, 20, because I've got 7 on order, and I'm just scared on payday for what happens next.
Welcome to the fold, my friend.
I know. Moving on from that, I don't know. We've got some more. We've got some Rebels news. How nice is to talk about Star Wars Rebels for the first time in a long time. They have announced on the Star Wars show last week that Star Wars Rebels Season 3 has a Blu-ray release date of August the 29th. They've revealed some artwork, which, I mean, it's just box set artwork, but it's rather tragic when you see that Thrawn's been reduced to the bottom right and he's smaller than not just Ezra, but he's smaller than Sabine.
He really should. He's, as much as, I love the Ghost Crew and, everything else, Thrawn for me was what made Series 3 so great. I absolutely loved his performance. I loved the nuances. I loved the overall story arc, and I cannot wait to see more of him in Series 4, which is going to be the final series, which is going to make me cry. But still, yes, no, the artwork's been released. The date's been released. It's August 29th. We'll be getting that, of course. Can't wait to see that.
What they've said, I think. Sorry, George.
Sorry, go
what
first.
they've also announced is that the first time on the Rebels episodes, they're going to have some commentaries over not all of the episodes, over the whole series, but some key episodes. They're going to have a commentary with Filonian speaking in them, and the makers of this. I think that's going to be really interesting. I think we're probably going to get some of the more on the episodes, especially towards the end of the series. I think we're going to get a lot more information than we took from it. Especially, I think there'll be probably quite a big commentary on the Kenobi episode. That's something I'm really looking forward to, because the more information I get, I love getting. One of the best things about getting a Blu-ray for me is getting as much information out of the commentaries. Like, I love a commentary, I really do. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'll be getting a day of release to go through those. But yeah, I can't wait to add Rebels.
Actually, speaking of commentaries, I need to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Ben Everett, who actually, although he couldn't comment, watched live our Rogue One commentary with us. Which he messaged me last week to tell me about that. So okay, I did not know that. Fair plays. Nice for him to watch along with us, and we hope to do more in the future. But yeah, so I thought I'd give a little shout out there.
Awesome that you watched the commentary. One day we will do the Star Wars 4 one we haven't forgotten. One final thing with Rebels. My advice to everyone: don't buy it, because season 4 is the last season. Wait a year and get yourself a very nice box set, because you know they're going to do one. So that's what I'm holding up.
Have they done one for Clone Wars yet? With all
I've got, you can't see it on my shelf, but I've got Clone Wars seasons 1 to 5. But obviously there's the Lost season,
yeah.
which was only available in like Germany and US, and that's a bit of a mess. But there's no nice outright box set. There's a very normal box set.
5 and 6. That's all there is for Clone Wars. But yeah, they'll do a nice one eventually for Rebels. I'm sure.
I can imagine Rebels getting some exclusive steelbook box set and this, that. But if they've got 4 seasons, start to finish, do a nice
must admit,
box
I
set.
have actually pre-ordered the steelbook collection for Alien as soon as that was announced by Zavi after I went to go see Covenant. It's like, here it is, and it also is 25 quid off. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm going to pre-order that. Bye. I am too weak.
A really nice, I mean, a steelbook for that, the 4 series could be beautiful. If anyone who collects steelbooks out there, they can be, some of them can be terrible, but some of them are things of beauty. Artwork's incredible. But yeah, I just can't wait to add Rebels. More than that, I can't wait for Series 4. I'm really, really wanting to get back to that universe and see how the story concludes.
Indeed.
Excellent. Rebels, it's coming. Blu-ray.
And I guess next up, this is the minor news. We're not pushing here, but we have some cool stuff. This is a very quiet 2 weeks though. Everything's going to kick off at D23. That's one thing that's for sure. And a very nice bit of news. Mark Hamill is going to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Finally.
I was shell-shocked he hadn't already had one, personally. Yeah. I thought he would have. Donald Trump's got one. How hadn't Mark Hamill got one until now?
Haven't 3PO and R2 got one?
Yeah, they got one in 77.
How has Mark Hamill not got it? Not just for Star Wars, but for Batman as well and his other stuff.
Yeah.
It took him till now. Like, Jesus.
It seems to be more like it's. To be honest, I think it might be even a reaction to Carrie passing. Like, oh, we'll get Wise here. We'll get this star in. I mean, obviously Ford will have one. I've got no doubt about.
I think Ford's already got one.
Yeah, I'm sure Carrie Fisher has as well. So he's probably the only one of the original 3 that doesn't have it yet. And I say it's quite a sacrilege, to be honest. Some of the people that have got these stars in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which, I mean, doesn't count as a Hollywood Walk of Fame anymore. There's so many stars on there, and it wraps around streets and streets. I don't think it means what it used to, but it's definitely something that he deserves to have. So more play to him. I think it's amazing that he's finally going to get his own.
He deserves it. That's the best.
It's about time. It really is. And then again, it's a minor news week, but there's a lot of little bits that add up. Star Wars wins 3 Saturn Awards for Best Sci-Fi Film, Best Director, and Best Animated Series. I know, George, you know a little bit more about this than I do because I haven't had a chance to look into things.
Yeah, so it was a week or two ago, I think. Obviously it's a week or two ago we were reporting it. Rogue One, I think the Saturn Awards are mainly sci-fi, not just sci-fi, but it's not your Oscars, it's not your Empire Awards, it's like one of them odd ones that comes midway through the year, but it does well enough to attract the directors, the cast, the crew, and stuff. So it's nice to remember Rogue One. Like, I don't want to sound bad. Now that the episode 8 hype's kicked in, it's like, oh, Rogue One came out last year.
Don't forget, beginning of this year, we had John Williams winning a Grammy for episode 7.
Exactly. For that. It's bizarre, but it's like, okay, well, it won Best Director, rightfully so, for Gareth Edwards. It was phenomenal. But the biggest thing it won was Best Animated Series. With obviously Rebels, not Force of Destiny, maybe next year, but I don't think anyone really expected it because when it was announced, everyone was going mental for Rebels because I don't think it's really had that mainstream, not success, but it's very much, if you say to like an adult what's Rebels, they go, it's that kids show. And, and it's, okay, no, it's got a bit of recognition here and the people that watch it, like, it is pretty dark, it's getting darker, but obviously it's going to finish on some really bright candlelit funeral for the little kids to enjoy, I think.
The procession will be like Padme's here, but just loads of coffins. Okay. But I think it's amazing. It's these things. I mean, Clone Wars hardly got any recognition award-wise. Even in that, there's some big animation awards that they do have. I think obviously that's just for animation, and even then, Clone Wars didn't pick up much. I mean, the Emmy Awards, the daytime Emmys, I think they may have won one in the whole run of Clone Wars. For this to get recognized is a great thing because it is a series that if you buy into it and not look at it as a kid's show, which I get it. I get some people don't want to go back and watch a cartoon when they're adults or even like, getting teenagers. That's not what kind of floats your boat. But if you buy into it and take it in and the stories that adds to the lore of what you're watching. I absolutely adore Rebels. I love Clone Wars for the same reason. It gave me a much better insight into Anakin Skywalker when he fell from the turn in episode 2 to episode 3 is such a short, oh, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm Darth Vader. That build-up that the Clone Wars gave you was such a good build into his character. And Rebels it's great television, it really is, and it's great storytelling. And I love the era that it's set in.
It's well deserved. Dave Filoni and his team have put in a hell of a lot of work into it, and it shows. It's a show that we love, and it's we've done several commentaries, and we did a Series 3 review, and we were doing all the same for Series 4, and we can't wait. It's a very well produced show, a very well written show. I prefer it to Clone Wars, I must admit, in terms of the writing and the storyline. I love the Clone Wars. I hate the Mortis trilogy because I think that's just We'll have that discussion at some point, Dave and I. But I do love Rebels. I can't wait to see how it ends.
That might not be good.
Oh God, no.
Just to voice it, I am Team Clone Wars. Give us season 7 during the 1-year hiatus between Rebels and the new show. Just do it, Dave. Do it.
Just do it yourself. Go and just do it. Yeah.
Exactly. No, it's nice it's getting recognition, and considering after next year when it finishes, it might get something even higher for all we know. Well, look, I think Clone Wars did win one award when David Tennant guest voiced it, but that was probably that. I think that was an Emmy. It was like the daytime Emmy Awards. Yeah. The most bizarre thing I've ever seen won. But yeah, and I think moving on from Clone Wars, we have for those that watched 2 weeks ago, me and Dave laughed about how there was a partially movie-built R2-D2 going on sale at auction. I believe they said it would sell between $1 and $2 million, not pounds. And
how I mocked!
it's ludicrous. It's sold for £1.8 million, which is $2.2 million. It's whoever's bought this hasn't actually read the description.
No, they have not. It's I listened to the show 2 weeks ago. Today, because I was catching up to make sure I had everything down pat for tonight's show. And I've read the news and I've seen it being sold. It's an absolute Frankenstein. It's not parts are screen used, but you can't even guarantee which parts are.
No, it's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. It's not finished. It's from 5 films, little bits. For all we know, it's 5 pieces from 5 films.
There are 5 servos inside there that we use in A New Hope.
Someone out there has made absolute fortune off a chump.
Yeah, and they probably an ex-Builders Club member probably thought, you know what, let's just have a quick joke. And now they're rich. Don't blame them. If I could con someone that well, I'd do it too. And God knows what I would spend that money on.
Like what we say, I mean, George and I were talking. I mean, it was just never in my time did I think that would go for that price. I really thought we'd struggle to get anywhere near it. That it hit it without any real problems. Really shocked me. And don't get me wrong, later on we get to talk about we're going to talk stuff and what we'd like, collection pieces, things like that we're going to get into a bit later. It certainly would be something I'll be talking about. I know I'm going to leave for now. We'll go back to it. I'll just jabber off and I'll be quiet.
We've still got more to talk about auctions because we have something that I would pay this money for. Luke's lightsaber has sold for $450,000. That's $450,000 well spent.
That's worth every single penny. If any of us had that kind of money, we would pay it. We know it. It's just that is the holy grail of Star Wars for any fan out there. The original lightsaber. It's the one that you see. It's one that Obi-Wan gives to Luke in Episode 4. It is the lightsaber of Star Wars in terms of it's the first lightsaber you see. It's the first in the if you're watching it properly, if you're watching 4, 5, 6, if you watch the if you're gonna do it properly and you watch it, that is the lightsaber. Now we all have our preferences. I mean, people love Darth Maul's double-ended lightsaber. Personally, my favorite is Luke's from Return of the Jedi. But at the end of the day, $450,000, I would have thought that would have sold for more than the R2. To be honest.
For what the R2 was, I would have thought, I would have put the R2 maybe at the $450,000 level for some bits that have been used in a movie, maybe once, maybe in a take. But yeah, to get, as you say, that first lightsaber that we see that gets handed to Luke, it's a holy grail piece, really. It really is. And whoever's got that, I hope it is displayed in a collection, and it's just pride of place with as many lights shining on it as possible, because it's something everybody would love to own.
Indeed, it is. I mean, I know we would all love to own it. Again, George, you know more about the next piece of our news than I do.
Yeah, so there's a documentary coming out, and it's not one that I've made. I wish I did. So for those that obviously, it's on the UK Garrison, but the UK Garrison are part of the 501st. We all know what the 501st is. They've done a documentary on what they've done, their charity work, why they do it, whatnot. And it's not professionally done. That's the wrong word. It's a proper documentary. It is professionally done, but you don't want to make it sound like cheap. I believe it's coming out it's called Heroes of the Empire. Right, cool name for it. I do like that.
It's good guys doing bad. That's their motto. And yeah, we all love the 501st what they do. But sorry, George. Yes, continue.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to watching it. I think they're doing private screenings for obviously all the Garrison members first, and then I think it's going to get either released online in September or some like limited screenings or something like that. So one to keep an eye out for. Yeah, I mean, there's no need to go through the trailer. It's exactly what they are. It just goes into what they do, but it will be a very interesting watch. And one thing I can kind of say is that this has been in the pipeline for a very long time.
I'm assuming we'll probably be doing a review at some point of it.
Yeah, we'll do a review on it. But what I will say is that when I did the RT documentary, I did contact some of the Garrison members. However, the PR team basically said that we've had a film crew with us over the last year. At the minute, we're like, I don't know, like I said, we're not the best of terms. That's the wrong thing. But they had to get some favors to allow film crews to go into conventions with them and stuff. So it's quite clearly, legitimately been done properly with, I assume, a proper film crew rather than a couple of people. So I'm looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be good, and I hope it can be something great rather than just people going on about how amazing they are at doing charity work. There's a fine line between getting this type of documentary right and wrong. I really hope they get it right.
I think you're absolutely spot on with that. I think when you're going in to see, I watched the trailer literally before we came on, and it does go around, it's obviously them in the hospitals and how the kids react to see them. And I think, yeah, it's a very fine line of playing that up. And I'm not saying that's what they're trying to do, but you know what I mean? If you're going down the sick children line, that I think is a very, very thin line to walk, and I hope it's done. I hope it's something that warms your heart when you see it and makes you, brings out exactly the work they're doing and how some of those poor kids who are going through what they're going through and the difference it can make to them. So I'm really hoping it's done really well. I'm actually really intrigued to see it. I'm really looking forward to it, actually, after watching the trailer.
It should be good fun, and I believe that kind of wraps up the news. What we're going to talk about next is, we don't have a segment name for it, but this week the first 2 episodes of Forces of Destiny came out. For those that don't know, it's the new 2D animated micro series, I think they call them, primarily obviously aimed at kids, and the first 2 episodes are about Rey and BB-8 on Jakku.
I've not seen them yet, annoyingly.
We're not really doing reviews. We're not doing like Rebels recap. They're literally 2 minutes long. But what I will say is that this is very, 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 very Saturday morning. Not that that's a bad thing, but when you finish every episode with a life lesson on being nice, you can prosper. I get it's for kids. But if I go back to my childhood, if I was force-fed stuff like this, I'd probably hate it. However, I don't represent all children's opinions. Dave, did you like them?
I did and I didn't. I've got the storytelling was all right for me. I think it's because you've got 2 minutes to cram in a story. I do like that you can pick out exactly where that's taken from in the film. That this is that film cuts off there. This happens. They're back in the movie. I like that about the Rey BB-8 episodes. That monster that when BB-8 goes off and we saw its eyes come out of the sand, and that's the creature. And you get to see that under the sand there's a lot more of that creature. So I quite like that. The animation style I actually really, really like. I'm a big fan of 2D animation. It reminds me a lot of the Gendy stuff of the original Clone Wars animation.
From
that style.
2003, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's around then. But
I like
the
animation style. I agree with you there. What I don't like and hate is the figures they've released for it. The Rey the Sabine one I hate with a passion. I think it's the worst figure they've ever released.
Episode 3 has just, the first 2 episodes were out. There's episode 3 is literally come out in the last few minutes, and it is Leia. It's called Ewok Escape. So it's Leia and Wicket. So that on Endor.
Do you think they got Warwick Davis
just
to do it?
dropped. I hope so. I hope he drew it. So yeah, so that is literally, it's just dropped. I haven't watched that yet. I just literally got a notification on my phone to let me know it's come on. So that's it. I'll watch it after we finish. But yeah, as I say, I really like the animation style. The 2 minutes isn't a lot to be able to tell a story, which is the only thing I think I might let it down. I'm going to watch them anyway. I will see them all as they come on the Disney YouTube channel, who are showing them all. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Ahsoka one that comes out, because she, as Ashley Eckstein said, she'd recorded with Matt Lanter, who voiced Anakin, for their episodes. I think that'll be really cool. Just get a little bit more
closure from Clone Wars for sure.
Hopefully, because it's Clone Wars era Ahsoka that her episodes are based around. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. So there's things I really like about it. There's some I'm a bit like, yeah, I could take or leave, but yeah, I will watch them all, and hopefully have a actually want them all finished and be able to look at them. The toys, yeah, they're not for us. They're not made for. It sounds awful, it's gender bias. It's not. Yeah, they're not made for boys. These are toys, and the series itself, you can see it's very much focused on building up
the women of Star Wars.
Female, yeah. The characters are all the females. They're the leads. Maz Kanata is the voiceover for it. It's all very much based to bring more women and girls into Star Wars, which I have no issue with. The fact our heroes in the last few movies have been female characters. The fancy dress, the cosplay. Sorry, I said fancy dress. Any cosplayers are watching are about to turn off. I apologize. Cosplay. As you see, so many Jyn Ersos. Ahsoka's become this big thing, and Hera and Sabine, and it's great that it's growing this community. But yeah, as you're right, these toys aren't for us. I might get the R2 one. But other than that, I'll be leaving those to one side. But yeah, it's harmless. It's just 2 minutes of more Star Wars. So I'm not going to complain about it.
Yeah, I will watch them for sure. And I also apologise for Dave's faux pas there. Just not fancy just cosplay. I must admit, I do cosplay myself. I have a Spider-Man Noir outfit. I did do a Kylo Ren. I need to update that, to be honest. And yeah, the missus is doing Chirrut Imwe this year. So yes,
nice.
If you say fancy dress to her, she will hit you with her stick. Proper Rafiki style. But anyway, yes, we move on to Star Wars. And before we get into the news that George written, there was another bit that I want to talk about, which is the first 2 issues of the new Darth Vader run are out. And if you want to see Darth Vader slaughtering clones, I suggest you pick this series up. It starts immediately after the end scenes of episode 3, and I'm not going to spoil too much of it, but yeah, I was a big fan of the original Darth Vader run. Darth Vader was my favorite villain growing up. Probably will be till I die. Again, Luke Hero, my favorite. Luke's also my favorite hero growing up. Again, that will never change. And to have these comic runs, I've been enjoying them immensely. I have every issue that Marvel released since the start of it. And yes, the new Darth Vader run has started, and it's incredible. So it's a quite dark run. It's a very, because it's focused on just after he's been put in this suit, he's getting used to it. It's I don't want to give too much away, but I do highly recommend it. But yes, so moving on to the rest of the news we have written for us. First was the SDCC exclusive, another one which I actually would quite like, which is the Inferno Squad exclusive edition, which is signed by the author, and it's got the game box as the artwork. It's a really cool looking image. It's the TIE Pilot with the blood stripe on it. I think it looks really cool. £40 for a signed book. That's not too bad. It could be worse. It is hardback. I'm a big Warhammer fan, have been for many years, and I have bought a load of limited edition novellas, which are all signed and numbered. And I did buy the Star Wars Celebration exclusive version of Shattered Empire. No, sorry, Shattered Empire. Sorry, Aftermath 2, which was not Empire's End. So Life Debt, that's the one. So I bought that when I was at Celebration last year. So I am a sucker for limited edition books, and this one does look awesome.
It looks cool. I'm intrigued by Inferno Squad. It's just another exclusive book. It doesn't look as nice as the Thrawn exclusive did at Celebration, but for $40, if you want an autograph of the author, go for it. If you're at San Diego Comic Con, go for it. But in the nicest possible way, I don't see this being top of anyone's list of San Diego exclusives they want.
Personally, if I was there, it would be up on mine, as I'm a sucker for good books. I do actually have from Star Wars Celebration this year, I do have the Inferno Squad patch, because someone was selling it for a $5. I was like, you know what, sod it, I'll buy that. But yes, I would buy it. It would be top of my list, but I know what you mean, George. I mean, $40 is almost a bit steep. At the same time, if it's numbered, it is signed. Hopefully, it's a hand signed one, like it's not printed or something. That would be good. But yeah, that again, it's not top of everyone's list for SDCC, but again, another cool exclusive they've got there. The next one we got on our list is the DK Lego book they've announced, which is 320 pages, detailing every set, every minifigure released so far. I probably won't be getting this book. I know Robin is out there. Yes, Dave, I know you will be getting this book. George, you probably will as well. But it does look really cool, I must admit.
It's basically going to be like if they put little tick boxes in the corner, it's going to be like, you want to buy this, tick it off when you've got it. It's only going to make you want to spend more money. Lucasfilm are tactical geniuses. DK makes stunning books. I think they've done a couple of like Lego ones before, but I don't think they've done one to this caliber. Like 320 pages, that's a lot. And
that's like an encyclopedia version of the Lego history. And yeah, for me, although I like a lot of the sets, the minifigures are where it's at for me with Lego Star Wars at the minute. So to get this, that'll show you everything. There's been apps that people have tried to update and they've stopped doing them. There's been websites where they don't get as much images. This is coming from DK, who've been through Lego, so you're going to get great images of all these figures and which sets they came with, which is going to help collectors hunt these down. I can't wait. This will be a book I will certainly have in my collection. Probably the day it's released, I'll have that.
It looks awesome, and it sounds pretty unique. I mean, obviously we're going to get like the dictionary for Episode 8, stuff like that, but it's nice to get some kind of merchandising one that's. And obviously, I think parents will buy it for kids as well. It's DK at the end of the day. It's made for adults and kids.
Yeah.
DK do put out a lot of stunning books. They put a lot of thought into it, a lot of effort into it. They're highly produced, they're high quality. It'll probably retail for around about 30, I guess, considering their past releases and their exclusive books. They might even give away a exclusive minifigure with it. They've done that in the past with some of their books. So watch out for that in the future for sure.
I can imagine being 15, 20, don't know about 30, but they know people will buy it. It's money for them. It will be a good one, but yeah, if they do a minifigure, then even more people will buy it, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely,
yeah. It wouldn't be the first time they've given away exclusive minifigures. They've done it before with the visual dictionaries. I think they did a Poe before. I know they've done a few ones. I know that I'm not the
Luke. Yeah. Boba Fett, an Emperor.
Yeah, exactly.
So, got quite a few of them off the DK books. But yeah, it's great to get. It's something that, again, pulls me in. If you get an exclusive minifigure with it, all the better. Just something you can add to that collection. But yeah, so it's going to be great. And I think, especially here in the UK, I know these books do come out and the retail prices can be around what Phil said, like £35. But we have places, I mean, if anyone's listening to this in the States, might get like Walmart, you'll have there, but Asda over here and The Works, like a bookshop, you tend to find these things fairly quickly at quite a heavy discount on what they're actually looking for at the retail price. So I know you normally get them for, around George says you can get them for anything from £10 to £15 as well. So I'll certainly be looking out for it. I'll not be paying full retail price when it comes out. Even Amazon, you normally find you'll get, as soon as it's out, we'll slash the price of this. So yeah.
And next up, we have an intriguing one. Originally in October, a book was coming out called The Making of Rogue One. Which would have been fascinating given all the events. That's been pulled from shelves and will not be coming out anymore. And first I thought it was Panic Alarms Going, but the same statement said this also happened with their Force Awakens making book. So maybe, just maybe, they're going to hold out. Personally, I'd wait for that trilogy to be done, and then you can go do some things with, just in case they overlap with plot points and whatnot. But
I'd buy that in a heartbeat, though.
Yeah, I think everyone would. But if they wait, people will buy them. I bet they'll come out eventually. They're just going to give it a bit more time.
Yeah.
The guy who wrote them, is it D.W. Rinsler, I think is his name, something along those lines. Apologize if that's wrong. But he's already brought out the making of Star Wars, Empire, Return of the Jedi, the big hardback books. I've got those 3 books. They are incredible and in-depth, and some of the stuff they have in them, like conversations between George Lucas and his director in Return of the Jedi. It's just amazing stuff when they're discussing whether Han Solo should die and things like that. the level of detail in them is incredible. I recommend anybody to go out and get a hold of the Making of Star Wars books. Those 3 big coffee table books are absolutely amazing. They're great purchases. Well worth having. But yeah, I'm devastated about The Force Awakens. It was the same guy who did this, so I'd expect a lot of information in it, especially being a brand new Star Wars film at that time. So yeah, the fact they've now had the second book pulled in 2 books, it's a bit gutting that we're not getting those, because it's, again, like a commentary on a Blu-ray, something I really look forward to, the behind the scenes stuff.
Indeed. I do hope, though, they release Ryan Johnson's picture album as a book next year, because from what we saw at Celebration this year, and what some of the images he's released, not only, well, he's a talented photographer, but then again, being a director, he has a visual eye. But what he captures is genuine, and what it shows the effort that the crew put in, the unsung heroes of film and TV is the crew. They work long, horrible hours to bring things to the screen that we all love and sometimes hate. So it's good to see that side of things. I do hope they bring that book in, bring it out as a book. And maybe we'll get our own from George when he visits Scanner Michael on his injured leg. Well done, George.
I will talk about that maybe in 2 weeks' time. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a video. Who knows? But yes, it's recovering, and I am working on it again. Thank God. For those that don't know, I'm going to Skellig Michael on Sunday. Dependent on weather. I think that's the more important question now. But fingers crossed, otherwise I've wasted my 21st birthday. Moving on from all then, we are on Toy Shelf. And first up, because I guess I'm now one of them for the Popcorn Co-collectors, I've become the very thing I swore to defeat. Literally, I'm just gonna say, like, how much, like, I can't swear. How much abuse was I giving to them? Like, I hate them. Like, what? I was there, like, what's the hype?
So much grief, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And you know what changed all of this?
Thrawn.
And now it's just, oh look, there's 4 there. They're all exclusives. What's coming next? Oh, New York Comic Con exclusive. Then this is coming. And it's just gonna build up into pure chaos, isn't it? And then there's gonna be Force Friday, and then there's gonna be a Han Solo film, and I've got things to pay for. But yeah. I'm on them, people. I don't expect to see any more images. I've got to find somewhere to put them first. That's the main thing. But yes, on the news, Walmart have announced they have 2 exclusive boxes coming out this year, and they're in 3 packs. I believe 3 packs are a thing, although I think they look terrible, but they kind of look cool. One of them is an Ewok special, which
they look really cute. I put my hat out in the ring immediately. I want it. They look very cute. I want them.
I think they look incredible. We have Tebow, Chief Chirper, and Logray.
The classics.
Yeah, it's a little trio, and there's probably a Wicket one somewhere where you can get Warwick Davis to sign it.
I reckon that'll be an exclusive at some point. Not necessarily a SDCC exclusive, something, but more like a Walmart exclusive or something.
Just wait. They'll do a Warwick Davis triple pack soon. It'll be like it'll be Wicket, his cameo in episode 1, and his cameo in 7, because he's already had a pop for his Rogue One
character, yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be an episode 8 one. So Warwick Davis, you're in every film, and Rebels.
Just wait. Eventually there'll be a Black Series Warwick Davis line.
Or just a Black Series of Warwick Davis, just him.
Yeah, like that George Lucas Stormtrooper they did a long time ago.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
But it was like Warwick Davis in a costume, but without his head on, like on top of it, so you can see his face. Yeah.
The other one, this is my personal favorite. I'm calling it the Bespin trio. You get Lobot, an Ugnaught, and the Bespin guard. I think these look awesome. Mainly Lobot does and the Ugnaught, but the Bespin costume's always awesome.
The Ugnaught looks really cool. I have to agree with you on that one.
It's 2 good trio packs, and they're gonna be tough to get. I've been doing my research, and the Empire one's got the 40th anniversary sticker on. Although it's not the Empire's 40th anniversary, it's the originals, and surely the Ewoks would count in that too. But that probably means that's going to be the rarer one. Obviously, Walmart exclusives. Somewhere in England will get them. There's loads of Facebook groups for English people if they're trying to find them, because obviously I'm part of it now. Bad times ahead. But that's all it is for pop news, thank God. We can move on to some stuff that I won't be buying. Well, actually, some of them I will. For those that don't know, Gentle Giant are like a kind of toy company that tend to release old things, as you may have guessed, in giant sizes. I guess the clues in the names didn't give too much away. At Celebration this year, they had an exclusive original Kenner, the Dinoga Trash Monster, and it's like a really odd playset. And I think it's obviously a classic Kenner one. They redid that in obviously their giant packaging and toys stuff. And that's been resold at San Diego as an exclusive. It's kind of cool. I can't imagine too many people wanting to go out and buy it over the other exclusives that are being sold at the weekend. But it is kind of cool.
Don't get us wrong, the packaging itself is the only thing I want from it. The actual set itself, it's too big for because obviously they've just scaled it up, and it's perfect scale to the figures that they released in that scale as well that they brought out, Gentle Giant, and the figures look amazing. They're just the original Ken design, but blown up at like 12 inches. But the box looks incredible. The box art is the original Kenner box art. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. But it's not something. It's too big. You need somewhere to display it, and that's a big bit of space to take up.
Is there other item they're bringing to SDCC that I'm more excited for?
Yeah, they're selling a hologram layer. I don't know how big that is, to be fair, but it's a cool one. It doesn't look as cool as the layer and R2 pops they're going to be doing, though. But it's a very nice one. I don't know if this sounds controversial or not, but there's a lot of exclusives of layer coming out now. And there are many reasons.
They're taking advantage of a bad situation.
Yeah, precisely that. I completely get the pop ones, the double pack her and R2 40th anniversary, the hologram stuff like that. And I understand this is a hologram, but in other years there's not been any layer stuff as such. I mean, we're going to probably get a load of race stuff coming out at the end of this year.
I come back, and this is what I come back to, George. Well done.
So close.
It was close because I was ready to rant earlier about something, but
really well, yeah.
It's a nice one. I don't know how much it costs, but it's just another exclusive that's going to be sold at San Diego. And is there anyone else going to say?
Yeah, no.
We've got the good stuff. I love these. Right. So I don't really do puzzles. I think I've done one puzzle in the last 20 years, which is actually glued to my wall because I was not taking it apart after spending a week on it. There's a company called Fine Art. Never heard of them. They make puzzles. Can you guess? And they've announced they're doing 3 Star Wars puzzles, and that could be anything. But they're 1,000 pieces each, and there's 3 sort of not adverts, 3 obviously puzzles they're making. But the artwork looked absolutely stunning. It looks like someone's like hand painted it, and they're making it into a puzzle. If you're interested, there's 3. There's one of the Millennium Falcon cockpit with a TIE fighter in the asteroid field in the background. And in the cockpit, you can see Han, C-3PO, Leia, and Chewbacca, which looks absolutely awesome. You've got a Yoda posing in Dagobah on like a tree stump with a stick, looking all smug. But then you've got an awesome one of Boba Fett and Bespin with a Cloud City kite in the background. These look like they'd be stunning artwork pieces on their own, let alone be puzzles.
I mean, you're right. I love the Millennium Falcon one. Is probably my favorite. I do like the Yoda and the Boba Fett one. I love the Bespin in the background, but I love that shot of the TIE fighter coming over the top of the Millennium Falcon. If you get a chance to go online and see it, I'm sure we can probably post these up on our Facebook page once we get through on this. But yeah, they look incredible. Now, obviously, 1,000 pieces is going to be a nice size as well to them, and certainly probably going to be well worth framing once you've done them.
Phil, anything on them, or are you
sorry, I was researching something for games, so it's just something I was just getting sorted for that. The fine art puzzles, they do look cool. The artwork does look amazing. It's something I probably won't get, but the artwork is stunning. It's something that, although yes, I probably won't get. Out of the 3 of them, I do love the Falcon and the asteroid field. That for me would be the one I would get. I think that or Yoda, because I do love Yoda, but that Falcon asteroid piece does look amazing.
And moving on from the puzzle news, we've never had that before. No. Sideshow, again, have announced some more things again. Life-size busts of Boba Fett and Stormtroopers, because Sideshow have never, ever released a Boba Fett or Stormtrooper piece of merchandise before. This time it's not a life-size figure; it's just the bust of them. Don't know the prices. I don't want to know the prices. It's probably cheaper for you to go make your own or buy one off Anovos. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say on them. Like everyone knows what Stormtrooper is by now.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, you're right. They'll come out and they will be a pretty penny to buy. And they're a place like the original Stormtrooper.com, who's the Shepherd and design guy who puts together these things. You can certainly get a Stormtrooper for probably a lot less than they're going to charge you through Sideshow. While don't get us wrong, some of their busts look incredible.
I love the Luke one they've got for SDCC. It does look amazing. The 40th anniversary Luke pilot one, yeah.
As well, but yeah, so I just think they're sometimes with these big life-size busts, there are cheaper options out there that look just as good. You might have to get some pieces from different places, but you can put these together without having to pay the prices that they're going to put on this.
Indeed. Anyway, so yes, moving on to games. What I was just researching there very quickly, just to make sure I knew I was correct on what ships they were. We haven't written it down on the news segment, but important to me. Armada Wave 6 is being released tomorrow, finally out on shelves. You'll be able to pick up both the Hammerhead Corvettes and the Imperial transport ship. So again, both things we've seen in Rebels, and also you saw the Hammerhead Corvettes in Rogue One as well. But it's the Imperial transport ship which they have, which the Rebel Alliance nicks. They put all the, of course, their A-wings, all the rest of it in. Yes, both those are hitting shelves tomorrow, and also Wave 11 of X-Wing is shipping at the moment, and they've done a reprint of the Awakening Star Wars Destiny set as well. So if you spot that in shops, pick it up now, of course, because it will sell out very quickly. Sorry, I was just getting my information all sourced out there, but yes, so that's more news from FFG. The next we've got Battlefront 2. The alpha has gone out to PC gamers. I being a PC gamer myself, I really want it.
It's so basically it happened with the first one. If you signed up to the Battlefront newsletter, like when it was first announced years ago at E3, the alpha goes to PC gamers that were on that original newsletter. Unfortunately, I have a PS4, so I'll be on the beta, which comes with the pre-orders. But some PC games have been playing it, and some vague footage has come online. And what it is, they've mentioned before, they're getting rid of like the pickups when you just walk around and suddenly become a TIE fighter, whatnot. And they're doing a kind of loot crate system to unlock things. If anyone's played Battlefield 1, it's basically battle packs in that, where if you've played well, you'll get a battle pack and you'll open it and it'll be a new skin, or it'll be this, that, the other. In this, it could be anything from heroes to squad units to points, whatnot. That's what's being said in the minute. This is an alpha. That will change by the time the beta comes out, and the beta will change by the time the full game comes out. However, what's come out the last day, which isn't on the schedule, is, well, it's not confirmed. Some PC game has apparently hacked the alpha, and you know this mysterious Reddit type of people, and he's claiming that on the coding on the game he's come across some heroes and villains, but not all of them, which makes me think it's not really legitimate. But it just had a couple of the powers. It seems half legit, but they've got General Grievous didn't have power information, and they spelled Grievous wrong. So it's it's why it's just if you want to go search for some rumored things, then go search for it. But if I was you, I'd go wait for Gamescom or the actual game, and they start unveiling who's going to be in it and who won't be.
Indeed, no, I can't wait for this game to come out. It'll be one fantastic game.
I am preparing. You guys on the message saw it earlier. I have bought myself a new toy today. 4 months early for Battlefront. I've upgraded my TV to a 4K 49-inch one. Next up's the PS4 Pro by the time November rolls around, on top of the Poe Dameron helmet. So I will be in my own world when this game comes out. Make no doubt about that.
Indeed, and I'll be leaking George's address out to people at world. So if you want to go steal it from him, you can. But yes, so that's everything news-wise today. This week,
Phil, can I just ask? Sorry, before we move on, what were your thoughts on the Battlefront footage? Obviously, George and I have talked at length.
This is true. Yes, unfortunately, I was not able to join in for the Battlefront live event. It was Le Mans that weekend. Le Mans, if people don't know, is a 24-hour race that happens once a year. I'm a massive sports car fan, and I happened to fall on that day, and I do watch all 24 hours live. I am stupid, but I do love it. So yes, I have since watched the trailer, and I have since watched the Assault on Theed as well. I am very excited for this game. I have there's a few little bits here and there that I'm not quite sure with in terms of I I'm not quite sure on how the hero systems are going to work, because when you saw the Assault on Theed, they had quite a few heroes in there. Like you had Han Solo versus Darth Maul and things like that. So it'd be interesting to see how that pans out. However, that's my only real niggle with it. The engine itself looks amazing. The graphics do look incredible, even for an alpha.
We actually have some breaking news regarding Battlefront 2. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, yeah, no, go for them. Yeah.
EA have tweeted Rey new details 5 minutes ago. They've got a new image of her with the lightsaber. She looks fucking badass. The graphics are insane.
She looks just a badass.
Oh, sorry. I'm just getting hyped. It says learn more. You press the link, and EA's website's crashed because it's full of people clicking the link. So yeah, go search Rey image, and you'll get an awesome image. Her posing. Maybe we'll see her fighting soon. But like I literally said, soon they'll start announcing stuff legitimately. They just did.
Yeah. I'm very excited for this game. I was very tentative. The trailer itself made me stupidly excited. As I watched that before I watched the gameplay, I was very tentative beforehand about the clones, just because I was hoping they would. Because in the trailer you only see Phase 1. I'm very happy they've got Phase 2 because I prefer the Phase 2 armor. Yeah. I really can't wait for this game. So I was giving it a wide berth only because we had a lot of hype for the first game. They let us down without no campaign or the rest of it. I'm waiting to see more on the campaign mode. I must admit, I do like playing online, but I do die very quickly. I'm not particularly great at it. Although I enjoy it, I am very much more looking forward to the campaign and the story side of things. I can't wait for this game to come out. I will be pre-ordering it and making sure my laptop is prepared. But yes, so that wraps up nicely this episode in terms of all of our news. This week's Canteen Talk was down to me. And this week's episode, I wanted to focus on more of our own private collections and things we want to add, considering what's been going on recently with said $450,000 lightsaber and said rip-off R2-D2. So talking about what's a part of your collection, what you would add, no holds barred. Now, I've been a little bit kind of relaxed on this subject, only in terms of I was talking more about collectibles compared to props or anything like that. Because for myself, I don't have a huge collection. I have a generous collection. I do love what I have. There's a couple of items that I do adore. Like I do have a Gentle Giant statue because I bought the collector's edition of Star Wars: The Old Republic when that came out about 4 or 5 years ago. And yes, so I have that. But my personal favorite piece in my collection is my 1997 VHS of the original trilogy, the special edition trilogy. Now, to those of you who don't follow the Bucket of Awesomeness, my YouTube channel, though I haven't posted on there a few weeks because life's been insanely busy. If you haven't seen my vlogs from Star Wars Celebration from last year, you won't have seen this. But I got my 1997 special edition of Episode 4 signed by Mark Hamill. My dad took me to see Star Wars in 97, bought me that collection thereafter for Christmas, and I've loved it ever since, and that's what I got signed. It's more of a sentimental piece than anything else. So that's the pride of my collection. What I would add to my collection, no money barred, would actually be the Mythos Darth Vader. Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. It's Darth Vader on Mustafar. It's a sideshow collectible piece. Interchangeable helmet, and you can have him holding the helmet in his hand with his head. It's got all this object source licensing on it. It looks absolutely stunning. It's something that I've admired for years. It cost about $350 when it was new. God knows what it costs now on the second-hand market because they don't make it anymore. But if I was to add one piece to my collection that was an actual proper collectible, not a prop, that's what I would have. If I was going to have a prop, I would go for Luke's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi for many obvious reasons. Dave, you're up next.
Now we fall into something that I love to get into. I have quite a large collection of Star Wars memorabilia. It's smaller than it was. I fell out of love with Star Wars after I got my last collection, so I sold a lot of pieces off, and I'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, when I was thinking about this, it was actually a really tough choice when I was looking at the pieces that I have of what I think is probably my favorite piece or what means the most to me. I have got a framed Revenge of the Jedi coaster. To all intents and purposes, as far as I'm aware, it's an original. It was bought as an original. It cost the price original should have cost me. I've never had anybody verify that, but it's framed, and when it's up, If anyone is actually watching the video of this and not the iTunes, maybe thinking, why is Dave in prison? I'm actually in my garage. It's very cold. There's no heat in here. But this will hopefully, if you ever see my channel Life of Brien, this will be my studio eventually, and all my collectibles will also be in here as well. But I haven't started that, but I would be shooting. But yeah, so it's going to be filled with that poster will take pride of place on the wall. I have canvases of the original trilogy posters and special edition ones. But yeah, as far as my favorite piece, that is probably not, at this moment in time, that is my favorite and most treasured piece, my Revenge of the Jedi poster. What I did have is now what I consider probably a grail piece. When master replicas were a thing, they did props. They were one of the first big companies to do all these amazing props. I bought the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber from Episode 4, A New Hope. It was weathered. It was beautiful. When I decided that I was going to I'll get rid of my Star Wars stuff and I'll use the money for other things, that is one thing I wish I'd never sold. It cost me, I think, only about £250 when I bought it originally. You can't get this for close to £1,500 now. I've tried looking online, eBay, I've tried getting it again, but I think it's going to be something that's going to maybe never fall back into my collection. I'm devastated I got rid of it. That would probably have been my main piece that I would talk about. I've got a lot of the Kenner figures, but those big pieces, the Revenge of the Sith, Revenge of the Jedi poster, definitely one. And yeah, that piece that I gave away haunts me still. If I could have anything with a new object, it's very, very simple. I would be sitting here right now with a life-size R2-D2 by my side. Not one that's made of parts from other films that cost me millions, but one that maybe I built myself. But I would absolutely, money new object, that's the first thing I'll be able to buy, would be a life-size R2-D2. George.
God, I don't. There's so many things I had to think about earlier. You messaged me, I was like, "Oh, you've already told me yours." Like, I couldn't tell you mine. I've got a couple of things with sentimental reasoning, and they kind of linked. So I'm going to say them. When I was, oh Christ Almighty, when I was 5 years old, I was bought the posters for episodes 4, 5, and 6, and obviously they weren't the original ones. They were posters from a shop that were framed, and they hung on my wall at my old house. And they were there for 6 months. Then we moved to the new house, which we've lived at for, crikey, almost 13, 14 years now. And I've never took them down. They've never moved. They've never moved a pace. They were the first things up in my room, and they're just probably £4 posters you can buy them online if you want them. But sentimentally, like, these have been my thing. I've had friends come over that hadn't been over in like 10 years. Like, oh my God, you still got the posters. But everyone loves it because they are awesome and they suit my room. They're on a wall where they are the only things allowed on that wall. A lot of other walls have a lot of posters, like the Pizzle spoke of, canvases, other things, whereas that wall is just those 3 posters in the glass frames on their own. So that's the sentimental. But speaking of framed posters, the holy grail of my collection is going to keep getting more holy and holy as time goes by. I have my signed Force Awakens poster. Celebration last year, I was fortunate to meet Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Anthony Daniels, Peter Mayhew, Kenny Baker all signed it. And this has been not an experiment, but over the years, it's the most tactical thing I've ever thought, because I can get old cast, well, most of them, the major ones, and across these I can get the newer cast as well to sign it. So this is going to be like a pet project of mine that over the years I'm going to try and get it not as full, because I don't want like, oh, I was a stormtrooper, you can have it signed for £10. I don't want you. I want someone that's had an input onto the film, the series, anyone that you actually notice them themselves. People like Brien Herring would be amazing, and the names I can get over the years. So that's got a massive thing for me. That's going to be a hobby growing that. So I'm going to London Film at Comic Con the end of this month, and Jessica Henwick's there, who was a pilot in episode 7. I met her a couple of months before the film. We spoke about what she was allowed to speak about. But now I was like, okay, do I get my episode 7 poster signed by her? I'm also going to be meeting, Ian McDermott to sign my Blu-ray box set, Alan Tudyk, Gary Kurtz, a couple of other people, which I cannot wait for. But the goal is that episode 7 poster. And the hardest thing is thinking about what would you want. And I want a lot of things in life. I've narrowed down to 2. I don't know if that's cheating. You can have another one if you want.
No, absolutely not. You can go for 2. Absolutely, yeah, that's what I meant. No, you can't have them.
The first one is a full-size Anavus Death Trooper just to have on display in some kind of giant glass cabinet to protect it from getting dusty, just to intimidate people when they walk into house for the future. And that's something that looks amazing. That could happen one day. The second one is the Lego Death Star 2. Nice. Not the terrible £400 one that just got re-released. The Lego, yes, the proper Ultimate Collector Series Death Star 2. I only need, what, $1,500? Good luck. Only, exactly. It's ridiculous. So that is kind of, that's my two.
Yeah.
It's hard. They're so different. I mean, you could pick a Lego, you could pick a Black Series, you could pick one of each thing ever made. This is what Star Wars is like. One's just so hard.
Which is why Dave hates us, because we just keep showing him pretty things and he keeps on buying them.
I will say, I mean, literally, we're on a group chat.
Can I give you some breaking news?
Oh,
Sorry.
Breaking news, absolutely.
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
We have prices for the exclusives, the exclusive Pop Funkos at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Princess Leia and R2-D2 double pack will be $30.
Okay.
Rock Bodhi will be $15. Combat Assault Tank Trooper, $15. Supreme Leader Snoke is only $20, which seems a lot cheaper than I thought.
He's a big size as well. Yeah, he's a big
yeah.
as well.
So no, they've just quickly broke through. Good luck getting them on eBay at any price related to that. I'm sure they will get re-released eventually. They always do. Maybe not all of them, but good luck. I have got myself the Hooded Luke on pre-order, which I cannot wait for. That's going to come in end of July. But some more breaking news, doing quite a bit.
I was good. Just while we're on, I mean, the subject of the toys and the collectibles thing as well. I thought about. I mean, if anyone's interested in the Black Series helmets, I know George mentioned the Poe Dameron one that's coming out later in the year. It looks amazing. This week, I believe, earlier in the week, was it Monday? Maybe there was an announcement that in here Argos, a company here, like a catalog company, basically, was selling off the Black Series Stormtrooper helmet at $34.99. And it's sold out within hours across the country. But now, if anyone is interested, I know I've ordered mine now. Amazon is selling it in the UK here. I think it's £45, which is still half the price of what you get it in somewhere like Forbidden Planet. Just while we're on talking about toys and things like that as well, I'll be putting a review on this channel. Once I get it, I'll do an unboxing, putting it together, wearing it around the house, just in some other clothes as well, seeing how it fits and how it sounds. I'm really looking forward to get that tomorrow. So I'll put a video up probably before the weekend. That'll come up on our channel of that.
Fantastic. So yes, Dave, you were saying how you hate us for making you buy pretty things.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, literally to say the group chat that we're in, we've had since we started, well, before this channel, I think the name came and then we started a channel. The chat between us on the Facebook Messenger. Other messages are available, but every day pretty much, George or Phil will put up a picture of something like that because they know what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit and go, oh yeah, I've ordered one. No, I'm not gonna. I've ordered one. These guys are costing me a fortune. This is supposed to be my friends.
Well, you said, I remember what I did to you at Celebration last year.
Yeah, you made me. Yeah. It's just you make me buy things.
I literally...
And I'm still waiting for a review, damn it.
Qui-Gon as well. I think the story to tell is I had a broken phone. And Qui-Gon... I was in Forbidden Planet London, and I think it was the day they got all their stuff with the Celebration exclusives. My phone was completely messed up. I think I tried ringing either the group chat or Dave.
Yeah.
And at the time, my phone was broken, so I get a black screen. So I had to reset my phone to safety mode. And I just had loads of people messaging me, telling them things to buy, all because of one Snapchat and one message. And after 2 trips up north, they finally got himself Blue Qui-Gon.
Yes. After my neighbours sent it away the first time.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's just that. I mean, I'm an absolute sucker for anything that comes out to buy more things in this collection. My collection is growing at a rate that I'm over the moon about, my wife not so much, and my child may never be able to afford university because of it, but that's okay with me. Absolutely worth it. But yes, I just think on the subject of collectibles, it can go on like this has. It becomes, I want this, and that's a dream piece, but there's so much out there. I'm just going to mention as well, in the UK, we have a shop called Pound World. Like the dollar store, something like that in the States, I guess. But they had the Hot Wheels, not the cars that they do, the actual ship versions they do, the Hot Wheels. £1 each. They're normally around about $3.99. Those when they came out. So I got like 7 of those because I took one of everything that they had in the shop. So I mean, there's things to be got out there at bargain prices as well. It's not just about the expensive things. I just want it all. Give it to me.
I think we may have lost George.
Oh, I'm still here. Sorry.
George was literally just sitting, just chilling out.
Yeah, I was. I had to phase out an important message about something that I purchased today, which I can't go into details about.
Cool.
Here's some advice, people. If your parents are in holiday in Spain, don't go buy yourself a new TV without telling them. It's worth it, but it's going to be quite a surprise when they come back. But I'll be in Silverstone for 4 days, so they won't see me.
Nice. So yeah, I think is that this us for the week? I think
this is us for this episode. It's been good to be back. I've missed being away. It's not been fun, but it's good to be back and good to be home.
It's nice, yeah. It's good to have all 3 of us back on the channel. It was strange just George and I doing an episode by ourselves.
Yeah,
I never missed a never missed a special moment. Never missed anything up until 2 weeks ago. It sucks, but I'm back. It is good. But yes, that's been us. We've been Wonders of the Force. May the Force of others be with you. Good night.